All right, YouTube. So today's video, we're making this on a cinema camera, and we're gonna see how it turns out. This is actually being filmed on the on the Sony F55, one of the last real pro cinema cameras from Sony that actually had a global shutter. So should be exciting. Super excited to actually use it. Manual focus. Got some things for it, but let's get right into sort of why this machine over a lot of the new mirrorless things and so many other options that you have with incredible autofocus. So one of the big things is number one, it's a cinema camera. Number two, we've got a lot of things lined up from a professional perspective, shoots perspective, video perspective, which could morph into many different things. This particular camera, back about 10 to 12 years ago when it was released, could shoot 4K 60 internal in 10-bit, and it can actually, with a R5 recorder attached to the back of it, it can record up to 4K 120 and 2K, I think 240 or 180 or something crazy like that, in 16-bit raw. So not just 16-bit, but raw. Incredible machine. The machine was about $28,000, $29,000 back in the day, and even today they fetch for a really nice clean one, which has the things with it that you need to actually make it work. Anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000 to $7,000, depending on what's with the camera. I'll do a walk around and all of that later. It's a Cine Alta. This is supposedly what the Sony Venice replaced, but did it? I don't think it did. I think Sony Venice, went down a slightly different path, because that does not have a global shutter. And yes, it has a full frame sensor. This is a true Super 35, and it comes with a PL mount. So what I have on there right now is a Canon EF lens. They do make a actual adapter made by a company called, I think it's OptiTech or something like that. They're not cheap. So the adapters for these things are like $1,800, but you can find them on eBay used for good ones, especially version 3 for around $800 to $1,000. That's what you're seeing now. And you have the Canon EF 24 to 70 Mark II lens on there. That's actually filming me right now. So what I have in my hand is another adapter. This one's made by PhotoDiox. I bought it myself. Funny thing is, PhotoDiox comments on my videos, but they never send me this stuff, so I end up buying it. Anyway, so this one is a Canon FD to Sony FZ. FZ is the mount that actually this particular professional camera supports. The Venice that we talked about a few minutes ago, which is also like $30,000, actually comes with a PL mount just like this, which is another adapter, but the native mount on that is Sony E mount. So they're trying to go to a lot more of the autofocus and this and that. I didn't really care so much for that. Yes, autofocus and all of that is great. I want to really slow myself down quite a bit. I could have very easily bought anything from Canon with incredible autofocus, under $5,000, and would have been just fine. But I bought this for a very special reason, because number one, it has a global shutter. You can walk around, run and gun if you want. You can shoot moving objects, no problem. It actually has a true global shutter. I don't have to worry about what they did sort of with the Bruano. They just gave it an update, and then they started to fool around with, the software, trying to give you a faster readout of the sensor, but then the image quality suffers and looks like crap. So the beauty of this is a global shutter is a global shutter is a global shutter. Looks like Sony's not making too many more of those. So this was an opportunity to pick it up from one of the cinema houses in Texas. And I did. So here it is. I'm glad it's here. And funny thing, tomorrow we're heading out to actually shoot a major event for a nonprofit, which this will become like the A camera, the big one. And then we'll use the AX700, which also shoots C-Log 3, which will pair really nicely with this. That's actually a stack sensor. It's not global shutter, but we'll shoot some of the audience reactions and things like that with that. And then obviously the photography will be all on Canon cameras. So that's sort of what's happening. I do want to go a lot more into the cinema world. I do know one thing for sure: it's not cheap if you do it right. This is not playing around with $2,000 to $3,000 mirrorless cameras. Every little thing is like thousands of dollars. Even the card reader for the raw recorder for this thing, the card reader, just the reader alone, is like $3,000. It's insane. But I can understand now why productions can be so expensive. The only other camera that was above this was the Sony F55, which was their absolute flagship. So then, from this, they made many different things, like your FX line of cameras. So you had, we actually had the F3, F5, F55, which is this one, which is the global shutter. All the other ones do not have a global shutter. And then they morphed into making the Venice, which was supposed to apparently replace this, but without a global shutter. And then they also had an FX3, then they had an FX6, and then the 9. So the FX line is Sony's cinema line, and their PMW series of cameras. What these are their what they call the Sony Pro video cameras that are used for actual filmmaking. So again, that should give you some idea. And then obviously the Alpha line is more photography first with some video stuff in there, and then the FX. So now you have FX30, FX2, FX3, FX6, and then 9 on the FX side from the cinema line, which is very affordable. But if you really are going all the way, you're going to lose a lot of the conveniences for some of the most ultimate filmmaking experience, being able to create things and truly doing some very incredible things, building things out, taking them onto professional sets and things like that. That's when you need these kind of cameras. That's where the Reds and the REs and all of that live. So on a hunt for some beautiful PL mount lenses, if you know any that are really good, that really work well, let me know. I've been definitely eyeing the Zeiss ones, which should be exciting if you can score one of them cheap. None of them are cheap. They're outrageously expensive. So just got to keep that in mind. Cinema lenses are very expensive because they're actually corrected. They're actually corrected out of the box to a great deal. They're not, we'll just stick it on there and correct that nonsense with software like most of the photography-based lenses that you're seeing today. My next video, I'll actually shoot it with the Zeiss Otis on here. And I think that should be a pretty incredible test to see how that's going to fan out. Excited to try that. I haven't done that yet, but that is coming too. So with that, I hope this actually helps you. I'm not a filmmaker yet. I'm not even an ordinary filmmaker trying to BS my way through stuff. I am just someone that is very passionate about capturing light, the passion of light. And I really would love to take a tool like this, slow really the heck down. I don't care for autofocus and all that when I'm doing something like this. Yes, for photography, it's great. Get the autofocus, get the shot, be done with it. For video, it's a very different story. I want to be able to capture the light in its true form, the most beautiful form that your human eye sees, and be able to do some stuff like that. So you'll probably see some very different types of videos. Now, does that mean that I'm going to stop doing photography? No, never. That's still there. But keep in mind that I'm also focusing quite a bit on this. So with that, if you're more interested in learning and also wanting to, dive into the world of filmmaking, if you have a little bit of money set aside, you're going to need some money to do it right. If you want to just get, like your small rig attachments and stuff, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like the wooden camera plate, cheese plate, just the cheese plate with the top handle of this particular camera is like $1,500. It's a whole different level of production. It's not the same game. So hopefully you like that. Hopefully you like the sound a little bit better. It's actually coming through a condenser mic up here, fed directly into this camera. So it should be good. I don't know how it's going to look on my Atomos Ninja. It looks beautiful right now. But this actually is being captured internally on the F55, the Sony Cine Alta F55. So these are the Cine Alta series before they went to Venice. So with that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other, go out to create your magic, have a beautiful, beautiful Friday. And I hope you will comment down below whether you like, sort of the look and whatnot. I'm still learning, so if it doesn't look good, I'll continue to work on it till it does, because I've seen some incredible things out of this camera. And in my next video, I'll actually share with you some actual motion pictures that were like real films that you're going to a theater to watch were shot on this very camera, used for production. So with that, I will talk to you in the next one. Thank you so much.